I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be along. Yeah, at least I hope and pray that I'll, but today I'm just a bill.
This is the Liberal Oasis radio show. I am Bill Scher. Good morning, Pioneer Valley, Western Massachusetts, Springfield, Greenfield, hopefully up to Northfield. Great to be with you. And I wish I could talk to you and have all sorts of fun about our cavalcade of Republicans, especially with Fred Thompson entering the race this week.
And I am determined that we make the decisions that will leave us a stronger nation, a more prosperous nation, and a more united nation. And that's why I'm running for the presidency of the United States.
Oh, it's wonderful when Republicans who hate Hollywood and they hate those trial lawyers. Oh, they get so excited when an actor / trial lawyer jumps into the race. Oh, I wish I could talk about that some more. And I wish I could talk about the fantastic Fox News Republican debate this week.
Political correctness is going to get us all killed.
Yes, of course. It's all those sexist and racist jokes in the workplace. That's what's making the terrorists win. We must make more sexist and racist jokes. Tom Tancredi, you are so correct. Or politically incorrect. But I cannot spend that much time on you this week, sad to say, because on Monday, we're going to hear from the glorious, closest thing to a deity that we know in our nation, General David Petraeus, and he will declare that the surge is working, that there is progress being made, and instead of a unified front of Democrats pushing back and bringing up all of the factual information that lays to rest any notion that there is any legitimate progress happening. Instead, we have to worry about the fact that Democrats in Congress, not all, by no means all, but some, enough, are looking to find some glorious bipartisan compromise on an occupation. That is what we have read this week in the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Politico. As a matter of fact, there was one anonymous Democrat operative in the Politico saying, we have to reduce expectations that we can stop the war this week or next month. And therefore, it makes sense that we find some common ground with Republicans who don't really want the occupation to end. Look, bipartisanship is great. There's nothing wrong with a principled compromise. There's nothing wrong with giving a little to get a little and moving the ball forward. But there are some things that cannot be negotiated away. You either want to stay in Iraq or you don't. There is no middle ground there. Either your end goal is to stay or to leave. And so when you put a bill on, if Republicans who like to say they want a change in course in Iraq. They love to say they disagree with what's going on and it's not going the way they like and we need a change in course. Please vote for me next year. They would love to pass a bill with Democrats that does not bring about an end to the occupation, but looks like it. It gives the cosmetic appearance that they have broken with the president. And that is why just a couple months ago, when we last talked about this, we had an all-night Senate debate, if you recall. There was an attempt by a handful of Democrats and Republicans to put forth a bill that would nominally implement the Iraq Study Group recommendations, but it would not enforce that in any way, shape, or form. There would be no requirement that troops would actually leave and remain out. Instead, Democrats at the time wisely put a bill on the floor that mandated that there would be an actual withdrawal, and it got filibustered. Republicans were exposed as being disingenuous. And furthermore, most importantly, by having that all-night debate, by putting a white-hot media spotlight on Republicans trying to pretend that they are against the occupation, they actually moved a vote. Senator Susan Collins in Maine, now she did not actually renounce the occupation. She did not say, I would support the bill that would mandate an end to the occupation. But what she did do is, I am not going to filibuster this. I am not going to filibuster and obstruct this bill from getting an up or down vote. The pressure is on me. I got an election coming up in a year. I do not want to be perceived as being an obstructionist, and so I will not filibuster. That, to me, was tangible success. One day of debate, one day of media attention, you moved one vote. Not bad. Build on that success. Instead, what has happened is a theme in the punditocracy that this was some sort of stunt. This was PR. This was superficial. And it wasn't serious in finding common ground. There's all this great common ground to be had, people. You just got to try. You got to reach out. Harry Reid wasn't reaching out. So what seems to have happened is the folks in the Senate, in the House, at the top, again, not all Democrats by any stretch, but enough, are now saying, let's find some of this wonderful common ground. We hear that Republican John Warner wants to withdraw 5,000 troops out of 160,000. There's some common ground. Hey, David Petraeus said today in the Washington Post that he could lose a brigade. That's about 4,000 troops. Hey, that's not bad. That's progress. I only got 156,000 troops in Iraq. Fantastic. But the underlying goal of staying, of occupying, and it's the occupation that some of our own soldiers told us in a New York Times op-ed a couple weeks ago, that sense of occupation is what is holding us back, is what is preventing political reconciliation. And until we address that, we're not going to get anywhere. So what we can do this week, and you should watch your presidential candidates here. You know, we have now John Edwards and Bill Richardson renouncing any kind of phony compromise. We have Chris Dodd actually putting up a webpage trying to garner support for his amendment that would mandate a real withdrawal. So you have some actual leadership among some folks. Whereas with Senator Hillary Clinton and Senator Barack Obama, we're not seeing very much at all right now. They might vote the right way. They might vote to not support a phony compromise. But this is a question of leadership. Senator Clinton is running on the claim that she knows how to fight right-wing Republicans best, that she has the experience in doing that. So start doing it. Barack Obama is running saying he is a transformational leader that can bring the people together over great ideas and grand vision. Start leading. You are in the Senate. You are not just some guy. You have a platform to lead. If you don't use it, your claims do not hold up. So it's time to put the pressure on them, speaking out, talk to the media, write your letters to the editor, contact the bookers, tell them you want to hear the voices of people who want to debunk the phony statistics, who want to point out that you're not reducing violence if you don't count being shot in the front of the head, as the Washington Post reported this week. We have to speak out if we're going to push back on these folks and get people to actually lead. When we come back, we'll be talking to Christy Harden-Smith of the Take No Prisoners blog, FireDogLake.com, talking about what her blog is doing to lead and push these guys on Iraq. This is the Liberal Oasis radio show. I'm your host, Bill Scher, on WHMP News, Information, and the Arts.